Yeah, it's just been an area I think we've seen um, to be true, but there hasn't been so much data to back it up. And so, there's all this stuff that we all know these things are related, but the, the scientific basis to see these things being related is really gratifying. And my hope is too that as the culture becomes more aware of and less discriminating against brain disorders, whether they're neurologic or psychiatric, that the line becomes less strict, that it becomes less of a dissatisfier. I think sometimes patients will come in and they have a neurologic problem and they'll also need psychiatric evaluation or care, and it can be seen almost like, well, I'm being blown off, or I'm being told this isn't a big deal. And as we have this body of scientific evidence that shows that no, the brain is a whole organ, you can't split out parts of it and say this doesn't impact that, then getting that adjunctive supplementary care will become something that everyone just assumes will happen because it's an organ. You don't get worried if your cardiologist sends you to an electrophysiologist, but a lot of times our patients feel they have a hard time with it. Sometimes there's like almost a sense of betrayal, like, oh, you're going to send me to psychology. And I feel like that actually has been a little bit less noticeable since the pandemic because of just the array of people who need these services, and a new understanding that maybe there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe it's just this is how we take care of ourselves well. I mean, I think everybody is looking to drugs with novel mechanism of action, and hopefully seeing those move from the research space into clinical practice. So CGRP is not like the end game for migraine. There are other targets that we need to be able to work with. And so hopefully, I don't know if it'll be in the new year or in the years after that, but hopefully we'll see drugs with novel mechanisms coming to market, and we'll get to maybe treat patients who don't have a good treatment option yet. As far as personal research, so we actually are just submitting an IRB to look at olanzapine in treatment of status migraine. There have been a couple small publications, but we've had a lot of success with it. And it's a drug that has a lot of side effects potentially in the long term. In the short term, it seems to be really well tolerated, and sometimes it'll keep people out of the ER or out of the hospital. So that's next on our list of things to explore in the new year. We have this registry of patients I think I spoke about previously. And so it allows us this kind of unique ability to look back and say, well, how I feel like I'm using this a lot because it seems to be working. How many people did I treat? And then sometimes you see these numbers and you think, wow, like a glance makes me think that this is really something that we're finding success with. And it gives you just a really good opportunity to think, well, we share these things at conferences, but it's even better if it's shared in print, because then people can reference it, and people who I may not meet in person. And similarly, I appreciate all of the things that keep getting published every month, and the different journals looking at different ways we can treat patients with migraine.